His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the President of the current session of the Arab Summit, and the President of Egypt, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, presided over the extraordinary session of the Arab League Council at the summit-level Palestine Summit in the administrative capital Cairo yesterday, in the presence of Their Majesties, Excellencies, Emirs and Heads of State. His Majesty the King delivered the following speech.
السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فخامة الأخ الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس جمهورية مصر العربية الشقيقة، أصحاب الجلالة والفخامة والسمو، معالي أمين عام جامعة الدول العربية، معالي أمين عام الأمم المتحدة، الحضور الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يطيب لي في مستهل كلمتي أن أهنئكم بشهر رمضان الفضيل أعاده الله على أمتينا العربية والإسلامية باليمن والبركات، وندعو المولى عز وجل في هذه الأيام الكريمة أن يعيننا جميعاً على إعلاء كلمة الأمة وتوحيد صفوفها وحماية قيمها الداعية للوسطية والتسامح والاعتدال، من أجل مجتمعات تسودها المحبة والسلام. وبهذه المناسبة يسعدني أن أعرب عن خالص الشكر والتقدير لفخامة الأخ العزيز الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس جمهورية مصر العربية الشقيقة على جهوده الاستثنائية لاستضافة وعقد هذه القمة الطارئة وحفاوة الاستقبال. كما يسرني باسم الجميع الترحيب بفخامة السيد أحمد الشرع رئيس الجمهورية العربية السورية، وفخامة العماد جوزيف عون رئيس الجمهورية اللبنانية، متمنيين لجهودهما كل توفيق لرفعة ورخاء بلديهما الشقيقين، وتأكيداً على ما جاء في قمة البحرين، فإننا على ثقة ويقين بأن التمسك بمسار السلام الدائم والشامل هو الإطار الضامن لينال الشعب الفلسطيني حقوقه التاريخية المشروعة في تغيير المصير وإقامة دولته الوطنية المستقلة استناداً لحل الدولتين، كما أكدت عليه المبادرة العربية للسلام وجميع القرارات الدولية التاريخية والخطط العربية اللاحقة، إلى جانب ما سيصدر عن هذا الاجتماع من قرارات تصب في مصلحة الشعب الفلسطيني. ونؤكد رفضنا لأي محاولات للتهجير والاستيطان. ونشيد في هذا السياق بمبادرة مصر الشقيقة المطروحة أمام القمة بشأن قطاع غزة، وندعو إلى دعم هذه الخطة التي تسهم في تقوية روابطنا الأخوية وحماية أمننا القومي وتعزيز قدرتنا الجماعية على مواجهة التحديات التي تتعرض لها مصالحنا المشتركة، وبما يحفظ مكتسباتنا التنموية وسبل تقدمنا وازدهارنا. وفي الختام نكرر شكرنا لفخامة الأخ العزيز الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس جمهورية مصر العربية الشقيقة بتوليه مسؤولية رئاسة هذه القمة، سائلين المولى عز وجل أن يوفقه ويعينه على أداء هذه المهمة، مع تمنياتنا بأن تشهد نتائج القمة كل التوفيق والنجاح. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. شكرا.
During his speech at the Extraordinary Arab Summit, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi expressed thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King for his relentless efforts during His Majesty's presidency of the current session of the Arab Summit. The Egyptian President also affirmed that the cycle of violence and the suffering of the Palestinian people for over 7 decades mandates a realistic approach, calling for unity to achieve the desired lasting peace among the people of the region. He asserted that peace in the Middle East is unattainable without resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and establishing a Palestinian state. The Sisi emphasized the need to establish an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. During the summit, His Majesty King Abdullah II of Jordan emphasized the need to support the efforts of the Palestinian Authority to serve the Palestinian brothers and prepare a clear vision in the management of the Gaza Strip. He affirmed the need to provide all necessary services for Palestinians to alleviate their sufferings and stressed the need to achieve the two-state solution and establish an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. In his speech before the Palestine Summit, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas praised the Egyptian Arab plan for the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip and the presence of Palestinians on their homeland without displacement. The Palestinian President expressed thanks and appreciation for His Majesty the King, the Egyptian President, and for all the countries that have supported Palestine against the calls for displacing the Palestinians. He also thanked the U.S. President Donald Trump for his efforts in the Gaza ceasefire. During his speech at the Palestine Summit, the Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghaid emphasized that the reconstruction of Gaza is possible with the presence of its people and their efforts to bring life back to the Strip. He emphasized that this summit affirms the importance of the Palestinian cause and the rights of Palestinians to live a decent and a dignified life by establishing an independent Palestinian state. Speaking at the Palestine Summit, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres supported an Arab-led initiative to mobilize reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. Guterres also called for the resumption without delay of negotiations on continuing a ceasefire in Gaza, and he expressed concern over an escalation of violence in the West Bank. We were joined earlier by the news center correspondent Abdulrahman Al-Midfa from Cairo, who briefed us on the extraordinary session of the Arab League Council at the summit-level Palestine Summit held in Egypt.
His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the current president of the Arab Summit, along with the President of Egypt Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, presided over the extraordinary session of the Council of the Arab League at the summit level, the Palestine Summit held in Cairo. The summit aimed to discuss the latest developments in the Palestinian cause and to take unified and effective measures to address the current challenges at the Arab and international levels. The summit began with an opening speech delivered by His Majesty the King, in which he reaffirmed the Arab principles regarding the Palestinian cause. His Majesty called for strengthening the nation's unity, emphasizing the values of moderation, tolerance and balance. His Majesty stressed that the two-state solution is the framework that guarantees the rights of the Palestinian people in accordance with the Arab Peace Initiative and international resolutions. Furthermore, His Majesty reaffirmed the Kingdom of Bahrain's position in rejecting any attempts of displacement and settlement expansion, while calling for supporting the Egyptian plan due to its significance in safeguarding Arab national security and enhancing joint cooperation. This summit comes at a critical time, reflecting the Arab nations' commitment to strengthening joint action and cooperation to achieve regional and international security and stability. It also underscores their support for the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people and the pursuit of a just and comprehensive solution to the Palestinian cause, ensuring stability and development in the region. From Cairo, reporting for Bahrain International, I am Abdulrahman Al-Midfa.
His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the President of the current Arab Summit, presided over the closing of the extraordinary session of the Arab League Council at the summit-level Palestine Summit, which was held in the Egyptian capital Cairo yesterday. His Majesty the King then bid farewell to their Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, leaders of Arab countries. His Majesty the King was accompanied by an official delegation comprising of His Majesty's representative for humanitarian work and youth affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Minister of the Royal Court, Sheikh Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Committee for Urban Planning, Sheikh Salman bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, Sheikh Hamad bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa, Advisor to His Majesty the King for Media Affairs, Nabil bin Yaqub Al Hamar, Advisor to His Majesty the King for Diplomatic Affairs, Sheikh Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, and Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, Chief of the Royal Protocol, Khalifa bin Ahmed Al Fadala, His Majesty's Personal Secretary, Hamad bin Ali Al Kabi, Chief of the Royal Follow-Up Affairs, Mohammed bin Basin Al Musallam, and also the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain to the Arab Republic of Egypt, Fawzia Abdullah Zainal. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the President of the current session of the Arab Summit, met in Cairo yesterday with the President of the Lebanese Republic, Joseph Aoun, as part of His Majesty's participation in the Arab Summit in the administrative capital, Egypt. His Majesty welcomed the Lebanese President and reviewed with him the close brotherly relations and means of enhancing joint cooperation in various fields, in addition to discussing the latest developments on the Lebanese arena and the region. During the meeting, His Majesty lauded the outstanding bilateral relations between Bahrain and Lebanon and the the keenness to develop them for the benefit of the two brotherly people. His Majesty asserted the kingdom's firm stance towards Lebanon, which is based on supporting all that preserves its security, stability, sovereignty, territorial integrity, and the interests of its people. For his part, the Lebanese president expressed his thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King for the kind sentiments he expressed towards Lebanon and its people, and for Bahrain's honourable position and its keenness on Lebanon's unity, security, and stability, stressing his pride in the strong historic relations between the two brotherly countries and people. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the president of the current session of the Arab Summit, attended the iftar banquet hosted by the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi yesterday in honor of Their Majesties, Excellencies, Kings, Presidents, and Emirs of the Arab countries participating in the extraordinary session of the Arab League Council at the summit level Palestine Summit at the administrative capital in Cairo. The Speaker of the Representatives Council, Ahmed Al-Msallam, praised the speech delivered by His Majesty the King during his presidency of the extraordinary session of the Arab League Council at the summit-level Palestine Summit in Egypt. He pointed to His Majesty's emphasis on adhering to the path of permanent and comprehensive peace and supporting the legitimate historical rights of the brotherly Palestinian people and the establishment of their independent state based on the two-state solution as stipulated in the Arab Peace Initiative and all historical international resolutions and subsequent Arab plans. He stressed that this is the firm Arab position that expresses the Arab and national will towards protecting the brotherly Palestinian people and their legitimate rights. The chairman of the Shura Council, Ali Saleh, highlighted that His Majesty the King, the current president of the Arab Summit's address at the extraordinary Arab Summit on Palestine and Egypt, set strategic and comprehensive pillars to consolidate a just peace. He added that the speech emphasizes on guaranteeing the historical rights of the Palestinian people, their right to self-determination and the establishment of their independent national state based on the Arab Peace Initiative, international resolutions, Arab plans, and the two-state solution. Saleh expressed his pride in the kingdom's consistent position throughout history on the Palestinian cause and his firm support for the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people, stressing that the speech at the Palestine Summit reflects the adherence to the outcomes of the 33rd Arab Summit held in Bahrain. Bahrain, under the leadership of His Majesty the King, affirms its ability to lead joint Arab action to safeguard Arab rights and enhance Arab coordination. More in this report.
With regional and international changes, His Majesty the King continues his tireless efforts to support joint Arab action based on his wise vision of strengthening cooperation and integration among Arab countries, enhancing solidarity in light of the challenges facing the region, and consolidating the pillars of peace and peaceful coexistence. His Majesty seeks to unify Arab positions on various political, economic, and security issues through his continuous support for the institutions of joint Arab action led by the Arab League, which plays a pivotal role in coordinating efforts and promoting integration among member states. In addition to political and diplomatic efforts, His Majesty emphasizes the importance of Arab economic integration as a key pillar for the region's prosperity, calling for strengthening trade and investment cooperation among Arab countries and opening wider horizons for economic exchange, thus contributing to achieving sustainable development and raising the standard of living of the Arab peoples. In affirmation of this approach, His Majesty participated in the Emergency Arab Summit held in Egypt in the presence of Their Majesties, Their Highnesses, the leaders of Arab countries, which embodies Bahrain's commitment to supporting Arab unity and finding effective solutions to the political and economic challenges facing the Arab world. His Majesty the King's support for joint Arab action reflects his deep commitment to the interests of the Arab nation and his insightful vision of the importance of solidarity among brotherly countries to achieve security and prosperity. Through his continuous efforts, His Majesty consolidates the principles of unity and cooperation, believing that the promising Arab future begins with strengthening joint action, achieving integration in various fields, and building a future of peace, development, and prosperity.
His Royal Highness the Deputy King Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa yesterday visited the Majlis of Mohammed Ibrahim Al Mutawwa, the late Hajj Ahmed Mansour Al Ali, and the sons of the late Hajj Hassan Al Ali. Advisor to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister His Highness Sheikh Ali bin Khalifa Al Khalifa was also in attendance at the Majlis of the late Hajj Ahmed Mansour Al Ali. During the visits, His Royal Highness reaffirmed the importance of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's address at the extraordinary session of the Arab League Council Council of Palestine summit in Cairo's administrative capital in Egypt. His Majesty the King's address stressed the kingdom's commitment to Arab unity and the promotion of Arab values, particularly moderate thought and forgiveness, which contributes to peaceful and prosperous societies. His Royal Highness highlighted that the Kingdom of Bahrain continues in its endeavors to promote peace and stability, enhance unified Arab national work, and strengthen Arab collaboration for the benefit of Arab nations and their people. His Royal Highness the Deputy King exchanged Ramadan greetings with the heads of the majlises and attendees and wished peace and prosperity for the kingdom and its citizens, as well as for the wider Arab and Islamic nations. His Royal Highness noted that the holy month of Ramadan promotes social bonds, fosters meaningful gatherings, and reflects Bahrain's deep-rooted traditions. In this regard, His Royal Highness the Deputy King emphasized the importance of majlises and attendees and wished peace and prosperity for the kingdom and its citizens, as well as for the wider Arab and Islamic nations. His Royal Highness affirmed the kingdom's stance in implementing ambitious development and economic plans and projects that enhance Bahrain's development. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad underscored the importance of strategic projects aimed at improving the quality and efficiency of government services and strengthening digital infrastructure and comprehensive digital transformation projects. In this regard, His Royal Highness also highlighted the need for continuous evaluation and monitoring of these projects to ensure the seamless integration of government services with the highest quality and innovation to meet citizens' aspirations. His Royal Highness emphasized that these efforts will contribute towards excellence across government work streams. The heads of the majlises expressed their gratitude for His Royal Highness's visit and acknowledged His Royal Highness the Deputy King's commitment to engaging with all Bahraini citizens and commended the significant achievements made during the prosperous era of His Majesty the King with the unwavering support of His Royal Highness the Deputy King. His Royal Highness was accompanied by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa and several senior officials. The Minister of Transportation and Telecommunications and Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the King Hamad Global Center for Peaceful Coexistence, Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, delivered a speech at the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly to review a draft resolution submitted by Bahrain on behalf of a number of allied countries to declare January 28th as the International Day for Peaceful Coexistence to be celebrated annually. He affirmed that Bahrain, under the leadership of His Majesty the King and with the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, is keen on investing the moral heritage and authentic constants to achieve progress and prosperity in a diverse and cohesive society in which harmony and unity prevail. Dr. Sheikh Abdullah pointed out that coexistence between individuals and human societies represents a winning bet for lasting peace, as it is a basic necessity to ensure a safe and welcoming environment for all and to accept cultural, religious and ethnic differences. He explained that the draft resolution comes in response to the challenges facing the world in terms of grinding conflicts and ongoing tensions, which call for the consolidation of the values of peaceful coexistence between individuals and societies and respect for religious and cultural diversity. On January 28th, the world will celebrate the International Day of Peaceful Coexistence after a draft resolution submitted by Bahrain on the International Day of Peaceful Coexistence with the support of 162 countries. More in this report.
Reaffirming its leading role in spreading the values of tolerance, peaceful coexistence and moderation, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a draft resolution spearheaded by Bahrain in collaboration with allied nations entitled International Day of Peaceful Coexistence with the support of 162 countries. During the session, the Minister of Transportation and Telecommunications and Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the King Hamad Global Center for Peaceful Coexistence, Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, delivered a speech stressing the importance of peaceful coexistence, especially in light of the challenges the world is facing, noting that this resolution embodies the principles and objectives of the UN to achieve international peace and stability. He also emphasized Bahrain's firm approach to promoting tolerance, peaceful coexistence, and moderation as values rooted in Bahraini society, which have formed the basis of its domestic and foreign policies and set an example to be followed in spreading the culture of peace and fraternity among peoples. According to this decision, January 28 of each year will be celebrated as the International Day of Peaceful Coexistence to bear witness to the pioneering role played by Bahrain in promoting the values of peace and tolerance, continuing its march in supporting global initiatives aimed at bringing peoples together, most notably the International Day of Conscience, which was adopted by the UN in 2019 at the initiative of Bahrain.
The UN General Assembly's recognition of January 28th as the International Day of Peaceful Coexistence highlights Bahrain's significant contribution to fostering cultural harmony globally. More in this report.
The United Nations adopted the January 28th as International Day for Peaceful Coexistence thanks to the initiative of the King Hamad Global Center for Peaceful Coexistence. This decision reflects the international community's response to Bahrain's initiative to promote peaceful coexistence, recognizing its role in spreading the values of tolerance. The Kingdom of Bahrain is highly advanced in social peace and multiculturalism, fostering a cohesive society rooted in mutual respect and cultural diversity, while promoting local peaceful coexistence to a global framework. The Kingdom launched the Bahrain Declaration as a global reference for peace and security, extending its quality initiatives to countries like Brazil, Italy, and Egypt. Bahrain's initiatives include the King Hamad Chair for Interfaith Dialogue and King Hamad Leadership for Peaceful Coexistence program in London, aimed to promote studies and prepare leaders in peaceful coexistence. His Majesty the King's call for the adoption of an international convention to criminalize hate speech was of a great importance, as it plays an important role in combating religious hate speech, which shows Bahrain's continuous effort to promoting peaceful coexistence. The Kingdom Royal Vision emphasizes peace through education, training, and dialogue, highlighted by the establishment of the International Day for Peaceful Coexistence to promote these values globally.
And for more on this topic, we are joined by a member of the Board of Trustees of the King Hamad International Center for Peaceful Coexistence, Dr. Sadiq Umar Khalifallah, with the following statement.
At the beginning, I would like to thank and congratulate His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa for his vision and leadership, which made this initiative possible. Bahrain initiative to establish January 28 as the International Day of Peaceful Coexistence reinforces its global image as a leader in promoting tolerance and interfaith harmony. This initiative aligns with Bahrain's long-standing vision championed by His Majesty King Hamad to create a society where diversity is respected and protected. Bahrain has always been a model of coexistence, ensuring religious freedom and minority rights, and this initiative at the United Nations is a natural extension of that commitment. By spearheading this initiative, Bahrain is showcasing its role in shaping global conversations on peace, emphasizing that peaceful coexistence is both possible and necessary in today's world. The King Hamad Global Center for Peaceful Coexistence plays a key role in advancing this vision, ensuring that Bahrain's message of unity reaches international platforms. The international response to this initiative has been overwhelmingly positive. The initiative was adopted by consensus at the United Nations with broad support from nations across different regions, demonstrating the global commitment to peace and understanding. Many countries co-sponsor this initiative, reflecting a shared belief in the importance of fostering harmony among different cultures and religions. The United Nations and various international organizations have praised Bahrain's efforts in this field, recognizing its contribution to promoting interfaith dialogue. Global leaders, including representatives from major diplomatic and religious institutions, have acknowledged Bahrain's proactive stance on peaceful coexistence. This initiative aligns with the broader efforts like the Abrahamic Accord and Interfaith Dialogue Forums, reinforcing Bahrain's position as a bridge builder between nations and cultures.
The Minister of Tourism, Fatma Sayrafi, the Minister of Information, Dr. Ramzan bin Abdullah Naimi, and CEO of the Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority, BTEA, Sarah Bouhadji, have visited the Heritage Village Evenings Festival organized by the Information Ministry as part of the Ramadan Al Khair in Bahrain season at the Heritage Village in Ras Hayyan. During the tour, they were briefed on the festival's heritage, entertainment, and commercial activities and events, and praised the efforts of those who organized the festival, which contributed to its outstanding level. During the tour, they also visited the filming site of the popular competition program Al Sariya, praising the great efforts made by the caterers working in the program to produce it distinctively, celebrating the popular heritage and civilizational achievements in Bahrain and all GCC countries.